Game number 1, everybody. It is the last qualifier in Season 2 of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Final qualifier to gain a few points for the teams and also, of course, a little bit of pizza money. And then next week, actually, yeah, it's next week, we're going to go into the playoffs themselves for the second season. And right now in today's game, we have Pork9, Mopsio's new team, going up against the Clowns. And as it turns out, a lot of the players on the side of the Clowns are actually former Team Russia players. Dragonshire is our first map here. Should be a pretty solid series, actually. I mean, we don't get to see the Clowns a whole lot, to be honest. In the past few tournaments, they either didn't make an appearance or we didn't catch any of their games, but we're going to focus on that a bit more today. The winner of this series actually goes up against Lauber's fan club, so the ex-Granite Gaming team. So it's a tall order in the next round, no matter who makes it through. And there's the immediate ban against Samuro. Well, with Monkey on the other team, that makes a whole lot of sense, obviously. Nobody wants to go up against his Samuro. It's a pretty annoying character in his hands. But we also have Alarak banned out and Tracer's eliminated. Which leaves us with actually a lot of really strong heroes on the top lane in particular. I'm actually wondering if one of those gets banned out. I mean, we're talking Chen, we're talking Raxa, that's the Chromie ban. Looking more so at the damage that they are having to deal with. Now, there is obviously also a little bit of a difference. If you watch the All Hallows Cup and Pork9, then you see that a couple of the players actually switched out, which is actually pretty normal. Again, for a lot of these tournaments, one of the 5-man lineup won't be able to make it, and they're asking someone else to sub in for the day. So we have here more so the real lineup of Pork9 in play with the ex-Granite Gaming players Swamp Grota and also Fury. Mopsio in this case actually looking towards Johanna. Very early pick into her. And ETC has been taken on the other side, which means that the Clowns now have the flexibility of deciding later on in the draft if they want to play ETC in an offlane position with Stage Dive, or if they want to play him in the main tank position. Now, since this is Dragonshire, chances are that they're going to keep ETC in the main tank position, but we'll definitely check on that later. Malfurion picked together with Vala, so we're actually having Vala in play. And Fury's Rhaegar, by the way. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be the one that plays through that, but Rhaegar in general on this map is obviously strong since you have a lot of camps. I mean, we're talking about 2 Siege Giant camps. In addition to that, we have 3 Bruiser camps too. So he has the wave clear to bring to the table there. He can also help with the rotations. And that's a pretty solid early draft for them. But you give up Vala, and you give up Malfurion. Malfurion is still quite strong in order to control choke points, provide a little bit of mana. Ult is pretty strong too. Follow up on ETC's power slide is obvious with the roots, so you can lock the target down a little bit more heavily. Garrosh at this point banned out, and this is actually already what I talked about. I mean, you see ETC on the other side, and ETC can be played in the main tank position. But right now, Pork9 is pretty much saying like, we still think you're probably going to play ETC on the off lane, so we want to make sure that you don't combo ETC with Garrosh here, and we're going to eliminate that option from you. That's the global also taken out with Falstad. So if Immortal on ETC decides to go into Stage Dive and the offlane, then they have the only global so far in the game. Unless we're seeing Pork9 opting into Illidan with a Hunt, which we've sometimes seen, but it's a bit doubtful on this map and in this case now. There's Junkrat, and we have Hanzo. Okay, damage has been locked down. A lot of poke. Also the wave clear that comes through Johanna, Rhaegar, Junkrat. And what's the final choices for the Clowns as we're heading into our first game of the best of 3 series? Tacita, so the double Vala support setup. The double support Vala setup. You know what I mean. And for the last pick, revelation of Raxa for the top lane. So now, are we going to get Chen against him? Or what's going to be the top laner that Pork9 is going to run here? Play with Leo, can play with Chen, can throw a couple of heroes in here that would really work well with them. Depends a bit on if they want to focus even more onto the wave clear, if they want to have something to bust through the back line instead. So we'll find out right now. And the answer is Monkey goes for Leo. There we go. Yep, Schaffer. Suffer they shall. Schaffer. Yeah, game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Pork9 against the Clowns, HeroesHype Premier Series. Let's head right into the first game on Dragonshire. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Pork9 against the Clowns. On the left side in blue, We have Svamgarota on Junkrat for the Clowns. Monkey, sorry, for Pork9. Monkey on Leo. Mopsio on Johanna. Shirionto on Hanzo. And Fury on Rhaegar. Towards the right side of the map, the Clowns, though, with a lot of players from the X-Team Russia. We have Farlander on Tacita, Toxic on Rexa, Banabir on Vala, Renella on Malfurion, and Immortal is playing ETC as the main tank in this team. So far, so good. Let's check out who takes it. As said before, the winner of the series is rewarded by going up against X-Granite Gaming, aka Lauber's fan club, so we're going to see how that works out for them. But yeah, at this point, with level 1 abilities, we're having again the focus into the electric charge here. Also, a bit of a difference with good old Junkrat, it's obviously post-rework, having Blow 'em Up as the talent with the concussion mine here on level 1 for him. Standard for Farlander with Tacita going straight into the Storm build. Obviously you want to complete the, well, halfway reward and the quest reward itself, so that you have on level 16 with Psionic Storm then a lot of tools to really get the AoE through. And just carpet the floor a little bit with Psionic Storms in order to soften your opponent's hit point pool a little bit further. With this said, we're having Leo rotating towards the top. I mean, he's the one that has to deal with Rexa. And 1 minute in, already the focus straight onto the camps from the blue team, with Pork9 being eager to take their Siege Giants. We see a pretty similar setup on the other side, where the red team is attempting to make the same play here. They're a little bit slower with this, but they still have ETC guarding this entire setup. Now, this might seem like a small thing, but again, let's talk about this real quickly. If you're playing in an amateur team, what a lot of the amateur players are oftentimes doing, or what you will see in Storm League 2, is that ETC player, instead of just guarding the play, is going to go straight in for the Siege Giants to help. And that help usually does... Ooh, yeah, talking about ETC and help, he needed a little bit more help there. Yeah, and instead of actually achieving anything, it will just look that ETC is going to try to hit those Siege Giants once or twice, so he can't really contribute a whole lot. But instead we're seeing ETC just make the rounds over here, making sure that if anybody comes, he gives his teammates an early warning, he can use his face melt to push them back. And that's exactly the way that you should play as a main tank. Always guard the flank when your team makes a play like this. You are not really in a position where you can contribute a whole lot of wave clear with this anyway, so you leave your damage dealer and your support, maybe a second one, just taking care of the camp, and you yourself just are a little bit of an early warning sentry bot that can then also, first of all, tell your teammates, hey, someone's coming, and second of all, slow that approach down a little bit, be it with a stun or something else. Banabir is in a weird spot right now, and he actually put himself into that spot. I'm not quite sure what that vault was. I mean, his stutter stepping is impressive, don't get me wrong, but that was a little bit of a very ambitious move. Now, they trade kills, which is fine, but if you already have that steel trap there against you in the first place with the Chattering Teeth, why on God's green earth would you actually vault into that? I mean, it works out at the end of the day. Hello? Hello? There we go. Stormed his ass. So at the end of the day, it works out for them. I mean, they trade 2 for 1, but that was still a bit of a weird moment that we saw there from them. Not really something that he needed to do, in my opinion. Now, when we're talking about talents, I just want to talk about, well, Rexa for a moment. On level 1, we have him in this case with easy prey, but just look at that level 4 talent. We're having the Animal Husbandry here, which means that we're going to look at even more hit points for Toxic if he can keep himself alive. He goes a little bit old school. That's something that we've seen at the beginning of the year, 2019, when everybody started to focus a lot more onto Rexa. And right now, they are trying to make that same play. Pretty quickly, people have gone into the Hunter-Gatherer instead, because all the teams got much better dealing with Rexa, and that made it harder to get value out of the Animal Husbandry. But apparently, Toxic thinks that he is still able to keep himself alive here and make this a very safe game for himself, and fully get that hit point bonus there, and we'll see if that works out for them. At the same time as we're having at the bot lane a little bit of an aggression with Svamgarota, we're actually seeing the camp over here nearly taken. The invade is there. Toxic is a little bit low, but might just be able to escape Rexa, and he gets away. The problem is Vala didn't, and that means that their hopes for this camp have been shut down quickly. So the night camp gets taken by Pork9, and the Clowns are a little bit farther behind here and have to try and see if they can maybe turn things around a little bit. Well, there's an extra 300 hit points for Rexa at this point, and for Misha, but that's obviously not a whole lot just yet. Down at the bottom of the map, they're losing ground too, and if you look at experience, thanks to that aggression towards the top with pretty much a double camp, we're now having also the fort about to fall, so Pork9 is really just starting to poke it here. Ranella gets saved by Tacita, but it is starting to look a little bit grim for the red team. Now, this is all pre-level 10, so it's not like there are no comeback options here for either one of the teams. It's only a level lead, so to say. And the double support Vala can definitely get a lot stronger once we have level 10 abilities ready. Especially if you're going to see Strafe here for damage output, which is an option, despite the fact that obviously Blessed Shield is very likely the play for Mopsio on his Johanna here. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. The problem is more so, that's an entire level until level 10 is being hit by the clowns, which means that there's a good chance that the blue team is either going to get a Dragonite or instead is going to get something at the bottom of the map, and that something might be Vala, and indeed it is, and the follow-up is going to be the fort, and that's the second one that they're able to destroy. So after the fort topside has fallen, Pork9 is now aiming for the one at the bottom, and with the double Siege Giant camp, yeah, you can pretty much wreck that wall. I don't really think they can make a play for the keep itself, but that wall is more or less toast. Tacita can storm the shit out of those Siege Giants as much as he wants, but that wall doesn't stand a chance here. Level 10 abilities allow them also to still make a play, especially if Leo joins the fun too. He's currently sitting a little bit off to the side here. And yeah, cuts off the path of retreat for Toxic. Problem is the rest of the team is helping out, and there's level 10 abilities. Already a stage dive comes through. Tacita is dead. They're making the play for Junkrat on the other hand, but the Tranquility has already been used by Malfurious. He's trying to keep the rest of the teammates alive here, but it's just in vain. Malf goes down, and another double kill as Rexa and Vala get annihilated. Therefore also the reset on the Animal Husbandry, and now with 5 heroes, you're just, I mean, that's just completely crushing through that bot lane. Pork9, they have no time to waste here. They want to go straight to the next round of the tournament in order to face off against the Lauers fan club. And this might still be game number 1, but they are just crushing this one. Keep is down, and we are 7 minutes into the game. 7 minutes into the game. 2 levels ahead. Without an objective, they've taken the top fort, they've taken the bottom fort, and they've just destroyed the bottom keep. They have 8 kills against 2, and now we're looking at camps taken all over the map. Leo claiming top shrine, ETC desperately attempting to take the one at the bottom at least, but if Mopsio comes in from the side and hits another Blessed Shield, they're very likely to get another kill or 2. There's the Blessed Shield, there's the Nature's Cure, the immediate follow-up with the Condemn, and Barnabia gets just absolutely wrecked. Yeah, they X'd that beer pretty quickly. So now we're having 25,000 damage on Junkrat as he's just shelling away. And they're starting to make plays for Malfurion and even Tacita. The walls come down, but it might not be enough. Fury is also still in the middle of things. But look at the Dragonite. Self-ancestral by the little doggy, and the Dragonite is on its way as they're attempting to get the kill against Immortal on his ETC. Level 13 talents give them another advantage, of course, but maybe they can get the kill against Hanzo. And yes, that one at least goes down. So that might help them a little bit. With the shields of Tacita, they could just hold that core, because, yeah, I actually like this. I like that he's going for the keep instead, because, don't forget, we're 8 minutes into the game. That Dragonite doesn't do a whole lot of damage. He won't even be able to get the keep. But it can do a little bit of damage against it, drop it to half HP to make it easier for them later. Going for the core here would have been a total waste of time for the DK. You can make the argument that maybe he should have gone for the fort, but obviously by the time that he moved down to the bottom of the map, Hanzo hadn't fallen yet, so therefore not really something where you can say, okay, he made a horrible mistake here. That wall doesn't do anything. Ghosts can move through those. But yeah, let's see. At this point, we're having our little setup at the bot lane with Farlander clearing this out. And again, the only reason why the clowns are actually still in this is because it's so early in the game. If that Dragonite would have been taken at the 15-minute mark, that would be a different story. Also, talking about different stories, Misha and Rexa have fallen again. That Animal Husbandry is not working out for Toxic in this game. Nope, nope, nope. 3-level lead pretty much now for Pork9 with 10 kills against 3. And they are looking to take down the structures in the middle of the map as they're moving in for the next fort. 13 versus 13 at least. Junkrat, by the way, with a full focus into the steel traps here. Chattering Teeth into Sticky Wicket. And in addition to that, gotta trap them all right here. So a lot more control over all of the choke points now through Junkrat for them. Yep, and the teeth keep chattering. We're also having 12 stacks only for ETC. That doesn't help the cause of the clowns. And yeah, as they're clowning around in the middle, we're having one camp pushing the top lane a little bit. And with level 16 now nearly close by, the question is just simply, what's the next goal for Borg9? Wait for the objective? Wait for a few of the camps to come up? Just simply push with the talent advantage that they have? Drop ETC, for example. Blast shield, arrow, and get fucked. Yep. ETC has no chance there. I mean, they pretty much unloaded every single ult that they had on him. Well, it's not quite true. I'm exaggerating slightly. It's only 3 ults that they used for him, but it was definitely worth the kill. Now, can they get the core though? They're trying. They're kind of done with this. The problem obviously are the shields of Tassadar that could make this a little bit of an annoying endeavor, but they're definitely going to get some damage on the core if they focus on it. But I'm not sure if they can really take it. I mean, ETC is back already. The problem of Borg9 is really that this game is only 10 minutes old. There's the stage dive, Hanzo jumps away, ults, as I said, already gone, Self-Ancestral Fury to buy himself a little bit more time. Tassadar is nearly dead, he survives though, but Rexa didn't, and Monkey is still sitting there. Yeah, the problem is, as I said, it is the time of the game. Borg9 wants to end this. Borg9 just wants to end this. They're sitting there and they're just saying like, let's end this shit. We have so many kills, we crush them all the time, but with the death timers this low, it's difficult to call for the core. Pretty simple. They kill ETC, they make an immediate move, but by the time they reach the core, ETC is already back. They have to wait a little bit more in this game before they can really make that move. And the problem is with them losing heroes in those little attacks that they have, they are also giving up a bit on the experience lead that they had. Barnaby again in trouble and might get a counter kill, but not quite happening. Oh, but yep, there it is. They get the counter kill. Big arrow that doesn't hit anything. Zoning arrow, that's what we call them here in Europe. And yeah, with the 4 versus 4, let's see if they have a chance to maybe grab a Dragon Knight. Red team, that is. The clowns are there and they are waiting for level 16. And if they get level 16, they might just have a chance to fight on even talents again. So yeah. Also, quest completed for Tassadar means that he's going to have the Sonic Echo. Mopsio, the only one that hasn't fallen yet in this game. And yeah, looking good. 6 deaths, by the way, on Bala. That does not look good at all. I gotta say that Barnaby is a little bit trigger happy when it comes to vaulting into the opponent's team and trying to get a quick kill there. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, the Self-Ancestral immediately, but Immortal actually pushing them back in. And here comes a bit more Rhaegar control now as he's going for the totem. Trying to make the play for Monkey. Couldn't get the kill there. But at the bottom of the map, still a little bit more action coming through as we're now having Frost Shot plus Psionic Echo. And also, in addition to that, the Feign Death on Rexa. And Rexa has another 400 HP by now on himself and Misha. Again, not crazy good if we consider that he already died twice. But he's getting there and at least runs a bit of an advantage. Top lane gets pressured. Leo takes another shrine. They are still ahead with nearly 1.5 levels. So also 6 kills. But Borg9, as far ahead as they are, they need to be a little bit more careful because obviously there's a big power spike also for the opponent's team that they reach now. And they're starting to make their play here. Mopsio gets attacked again, hasn't died so far in the game. Here comes the follow-up with Leo, but Monkey is low. Oh, Tassadar too though. But Tranquility keeps everybody alive on the red team side, and they're trying to turn it around here. They're trying to make the play here for Monkey, for example. And Barnaby is going a little bit deep for the kill, but he just can't get enough damage through. Has also still a Frost Shot, slows them down, and they go for Hanzo. And Hanzo got wrecked, and Barnaby now all of a sudden is just running around like a bunny on LSD, is jumping all over the place as he gets shields and heals, but the red team is incredibly low. Immortal is trying to buy them a little bit of time. Barnaby gets again caught by one of the steel traps, but he still has the damage output that he can go for Mopsio and Monkey. He's trying to get the damage in, but the entire time Rhaegar comes through with one heal after another. The wall is actually hurting Barnaby. He can't close the distance to Mopsio because of it. And oh my god, Mopsio gets away with 40 HP. Farlander screwing it up a little bit. I mean, obviously he wanted to save himself there. This is why he dropped the wall. but it really just shut down Banabier's attempt to go for Johanna. That would have been a kill for sure. But now it's 12 kills against 7, and they're getting a little bit closer. Again, you gotta give some credit over to the Clowns. They were incredibly far behind. They still are incredibly far behind if you consider the structural position that they're in on the map. They're starting to win more fights, and they're starting to get a bit more damage out, which is especially reflected with Vala sitting at 52,000 despite the 6 deaths that she suffered. A bit of a play against Svamgrota at the bottom of the map, and well, we'll see. Vanabier at this point also obviously getting a little bit more AoE damage out. I mean, he can't keep up with Tacita, he's at 130,000. Top siege damage in the game. Double Storm is going to exaggerate that lead even more. But the problem is now the level 20. And that is one that they're going to get for sure. And then it is again Dragonite time. And this time you can take a Dragonite, it's pretty much lights out. Right, Vala wants this one. The problem is the fight is already starting. The camp is still going to be taken, but they have to deal with the situation. Tire, baby! Oh, that's a good one! I like that! And that's a kill. Nicely done. Very, very well done. Svamgrota goes down on Junkrat, and now it's a 5 versus 4 despite the level 20 advantage that they have. That might just be enough for the red team to take it, but Vala goes down, and that's the damage gone. In comes the Buried Alive, and Tacita gets wrecked. Tacita down, Malfurion dead too, and now they can make the play for the core. Either Dragonite or core, the options are there, and they're going to take them. Going to jump in for exactly those. Nicely done. Alright, so there we go. Start to make their play. And with that, they're also maybe even getting the additional kill against Rexa. Nope, not quite, but they should be able to take the core now. Yep, can definitely take that now. And that was a real nice turnaround. After Junkrat died, they were able with the level 20 talent advantage to still go in and take this one. So, nicely done. Pork9 with 17 kills to 8 is taking the victory on the first map of the best of 3 series on Dragonshire. GG, and well played as the blue team takes the lead and the W. Game number 2, Volskaya Foundry, everybody. Pork9 with the lead against the Clowns. And I gotta say that towards the end of the game, I think there were a few chances for the Clowns to make a bit of a comeback. But Banabir is a bit YOLO on Vala. Banabir pretty much plays Vala like it's Tracer. And, I mean, he's basically just jumping in the entire time, then hammers the rewind button and is surprised that he can't rewind. So that's what that looked like. And Tracer got banned out against them, and in the past he obviously played a lot of Tracer for his previous teams. But that's a little bit what that looked like. I mean, him vaulting into the opponent, trying to play around that, and then not having an option to get back there, even with the double support, was definitely an issue. Tracer gets banned out against him again for good reason. And we're obviously also seeing the Samuro ban against a Monkey, another big map where he could have been incredibly annoying with Samuro. So good choice from the Clowns to shut that down before it even becomes a problem. Now, the big question for me personally is actually what we're going to see in terms of damage for the Clowns, because I really don't think that Vala play necessarily worked out for Banabir. He definitely needs another hero here where he can play with. He had some cool moves on the last map, but he just died way too much considering that he had a double support. And obviously there was a lot of focus on him too. But now we have Rega again as the early pick. We see that a lot more often. Malfurion and Rega are pretty much the 2 top healers in the European scene at this moment in time. Rega adding the extra wave clear on the camps that allows you to get more map pressure. And on this map, item control is obviously one of the biggest things that you're looking out for. Hanzo picked early. Ona and Mal'Ganis. Okay, we're switching it up really early in the draft. I mean, it was pretty much Lauba that actually brought Mal'Ganis into the competitive meta. And by now we have multiple teams that play with Mal'Ganis. You can obviously set up a lot with him, and he has also quite a bit of self-sustainability, which takes some of the pressure off your healer. But that's a really early Mal'Ganis pick, and that definitely allows Pork9 to do exactly this. Draft a lot of CC against him too. Now Junkrat, first of all, for the poke outside of the checkpoint is taken by Swampgrota again. In general, Swampgrota just a player that really enjoys to play Junkrat. That was before the changes to Junkrat and now even after the changes. And we're having Mopsio on ETC, taking it for himself this time. And with bans coming in, they could still ban out Monkey a little bit. Yeah, there's the ban against him, making sure that we don't have Chen in this game. I could have seen Chen on the last map. Gotta be honest. Chen can rag a backline pretty easily. If you get the triple panda and you're able to flank in there. They decided in favor of Leo, and it worked out well for them. Had a couple of really nice entombs actually. One or two that didn't maybe quite hit the mark, but the rest of them was pretty much spot on. And now we're seeing Pork9 with the last pick in this one. Now keep in mind, this is a best of 3 series. We're still early on in the tournament of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Ban against Malfurion. So this is the last qualifier. The last qualifier for the HeroesHype Premier Series. We are in Season 2. And next week the playoffs are going to start for the tournament here. We're also going to have the Nations Cup starting up fairly soon. Yeah, the last few weeks were a little bit more calm. It was most of the calm before the storm, because there's a lot of tournaments popping up right now, heading into second season. And there we go. This is a little bit more, like, this is more so down the line. We have Li Ming for Banabia. We see Toxic on Thrall. In terms of the damage output, that's already a lot. Now, they need to be a bit careful with Thrall, obviously, in the sense that now Mal'Ganis is more so on his own at the front line. You don't have someone like Chen, Leo, Rexa, Urel next to Mal'Ganis that can take more of a punch. But Thrall has the added damage output and could in this case even go for Crash Lightning if he wanted to. But Echo of Elements is still more likely. But both options are available in Volskaya. And there we have Imperius for Monkey. So we have an ETC and Imperius set up with Jaina for burst damage. And outside poke from Junkrat. Not bad at all. And the last pick for Renella, as we need our support. What are we gonna have with this one? I mean, you could go Alexstrasza here. That's more so an A move. But we see Alexstrasza these days in Europe a little bit more on good maps like Infernal Shrines, for example. But obviously Ana is also still available. And with Li Ming, she makes also quite a lot of sense. Good nano boost will allow Banabir to be a lot more aggressive around this. So as we're heading into Volskaya Foundry, we have map number 2 coming up. Let's see if Pork9 takes this with the 2-0, or if the Clowns are fighting back in this one. Let's head straight into Volskaya Foundry. Game number 2, Volskaya Foundry. And over to the left side, the blue team. Swampgrota with Junkrat again, also in the second game. We have Fury on Rhaegar, Monkey on Imperius. We see Mopsio on ETC and Shirionto on Jaina. And to the right side of the map, the Clowns, as they're trying to fight back into this. Farlander on Hanzo. I don't think they found the last game to be very funny, but maybe they're gonna try and change it here. Farlander on Hanzo, Toxic on Thrall, Immortal on Mal'Ganis, Banabir on Li Ming, and Renella is playing Ana. So there we go. Echo of Elements. Yeah, well, as I said before, both would have been an option here, but Echo of Elements on this map is still the preferred talent for most players. But again, you can play Trash Lightning on this map, but I would recommend to do that only if you're playing a triple frontline, so that you can set Thrall onto the 4-man and not into the side lane. And well, that's a dead vampire. But Mal'Ganis goes down. They just took down the big bat, and yeah, that was about as bad of a bat as the new Batwoman series. So yeah, it's pretty much one of the few series that I've seen that gets absolutely shredded on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. I mean, 2.9, 3.0 rating. I mean, whew, that was horrible. I'm sorry, girl. Toxic on here though is very... Oh, Mopsio! Nah. I got a little bit played there. Toxic with the immediate B-step too. I might lose the game, dude, but I just let you completely slide into the empty space for the zone. So that didn't do a whole lot for him. Up here towards the top, what do we have? We have a camp already claimed by the Clowns. Obviously, it's item time. Now that we are a minute into the game and the camps have spawned, you want to go for your turret first. And the teams are going to eye each other around the support camp. The pings are already there, trying to see if someone is actually making a move. And as it turns out, that's the case. Pork9 is not wasting any time. They're going immediately for it. They still have vision on Thrall at the bottom of the map, so they know that he's not there. And that gives them the upper hand in this battle, and an easy access to the first healing beacon. So yeah, nicely done. 2 items against 1. Already a lead for the blue team before we're heading into the second objective. And this is again the reason why you should on this map always focus at the 1 minute mark onto your camps directly. That's something that if you're playing in an amateur league, you should always focus on. Play the map, make sure that you take these little advantages when you can. And as the next objective, the first objective, is spawning, we're going to see Pork9 heading into it with an advantage over their opponent. And that could lead to a bit of a snowball there. In terms of talents, we also have the Frostwolf pack for Thrall. Toxio riding on his golden cock majestically through the bot lane. As he's fighting off against Monkey here. With the rotation towards the top, Farlander, yeah, he's not getting caught by this one. They're paying attention. They're really paying attention. Have also taken the camp over here. Just have to take it and time it a little bit. Jaina is going to take care of that now. But the control point is unlocking as we speak. And, well, there we have our little setup towards the healing beacon. Sorry, towards the bot here. Also, the camp hasn't been taken. Instead, Swamkrota is actually trying to take the camp on the opponent's side down. Jaina is now making the move to the camp. So the entire delay tactic that you're seeing here is pretty much designed so that pretty soon the red team will have to split someone off the middle, send them to the top in order to deal with this camp, and if they don't, they will lose the wall here. So this is why the timing has been this, well, weird or this specific. Uh-oh, talking about specific, Barnabeer is dead. He's not having a good day here, I gotta say. He is not having a good day. Vala performance in the last game was a little bit aggressive and he got punished for it, and now in this game he's also ending up as a victim pretty soon. But yep, there we have level 7 talents now in the hands of Pork9, so the advantage goes to them once more. So always towards the top, even they defend the camp now because they know they have a little bit more time since they just killed the hero, so they only leave ETC in the middle. Yeah, there comes Mal'Ganis as they're trying to go for, well, not trying, they are going for Fury, and he didn't even have a chance to drop the item, so now the additional turret is in their hands, and that's a double kill! Get wrecked, son! Nicely played by the clowns. Yeah, so that is a pretty amusing turnaround here. The clowns, they have a sense of humor after all. So they gave the opponent a bit of an advantage and they come back swinging. Oh, but talking about swinging, someone has been swinging to the fences. Down there, Thrall is dead. And that is that. Okay, over there towards the top. Already another camp about to be taken, but Mopsio is saying like, nah, we kind of like this too. You're not the only ones that like items. We like items too, but the fight isn't over just yet. The problem is that Immortal already has one. He can't even take this one if he wanted to. And there we have it. Already a little move towards the objective, and with 94, 96 points, it seems like they're going to get this one. No fight for it. Nope, they let it go. It's Protector time. They take the first Protector. Thrall, by the way, because he died, has also been reset on his level 4 talent. And they make a rotation that Mopsio's teams make a little bit more often. Now, traditionally, you would see the Protector move towards the top lane. The reason for that being that the next objective spawns topside, and you want to prepare for objective number 2, take your opponent's fountain away. But we've seen Mopsio's team do this here a lot. Instead of the top lane, they focus on objective number 3. They want to prepare for the third objective, and that's why they're going to the bottom of the map to take that one down. And it works quite nicely. I mean, they're not quite getting the fort. Well, actually, they might still, because there's a double wave pretty much already there. And they're getting it. So they take the fountain down, they take the fort down, and they're getting kills too? Like, what? What the hell? That was a disaster for the clowns. This isn't funny. This is the unfunny kind of clowns, apparently. So yeah, Thrall is dead again. Well, I guess it's a little bit funny, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, with the level 10 abilities, they didn't even have to use anything, really. But all of a sudden, we're having the lead here. 4 kills against 2. Oh, Shirionto wants to kill against Farlander, but can't quite get it. And with that said, we're now having, in the middle, another quick attack between the two, as the next objective is getting focused on. Well, the next objective in the sense of items. So we have another healing beacon. And they're starting to run out of a little space here. Ah. It's a really decent setup for them. Thrall 1 to rotate back down to the bottom with level 10 abilities ready for them. We're seeing again Sundering. And Sundering versus Earthquake is always a bit of a weird one, because if you go for Sundering, the thought process behind it is usually that you're attempting to set a flank up against your opponent, and with a good Sundering you can split the opponent's team and really deliver a kill to your team. Whereas Earthquake is more so focusing on the fight on site, so it's not quite as much of an initiation as Sundering is, where you start usually with the Sundering into the battle, or you can deny a play. But I guess one of the main advantages of Sundering over Earthquake that they are trying to exploit here is that you can interrupt ETC's mosh pit, and they don't have a whole lot of interrupts, but they, well, actually it's not quite true, they have it. They have enough. More than enough, especially with Li Ning. Yeah, but that one didn't really do a whole lot, and that's exactly my problem with this. They still get the kill against ETC though, despite the fact that Barnaby is incredibly low. If they can get a kill now, though, that would be a reset, but Barnaby goes to the front. He can't get the kill, and therefore he can't get the dominance value. That's the end of him. Monkey gets healed. Ooh, that didn't really do a whole lot for him. Hanzo is now down too. So after we see ETC fall initially, the quick turnaround against the Clowns as they lose 2 of their heroes. Well played. I mean, credit where credit is due. Good turnaround by Pog9. Now they have also level 13 talents. And again, I don't think that Sundering did a whole lot in that little encounter that we saw there. If Banabir would have been able to get a kill, then Dominance would have helped him to survive. But as he goes down, that is just a massive, massive issue. And Ancestral, as you could see, it did pretty much do nothing against Imperius, but even that didn't matter. Wow. Jaina nearly dead here. Shirionto nearly fell towards the top, and Banabir is still looking for that kill, but he can't quite get it. The item even put down. Banabir is now rushing away here too. But let's see. I mean, there's a couple of really good plays that we're seeing from the Clowns, don't get me wrong. The engage that they had in the last one was nice. We talked a little bit about the Ancestral that didn't do anything against for Imperius because of Ana, but the problem obviously is that as nice as those plays look, if you can't get the kill afterwards, then they are just not doing anything for you in the long run. So that's a big problem that they have to face right now. 6 kills against 3 also means that we have still an advantage in talents for a second. Right now there's the picks, that we're having an opportunity for the red team to maybe take over the position here. Ooh, Svangrotta has to be very careful, use a passive mind to get away from this one. That could have been a kill against him for sure. 1.5 level lead for the blue team still. But let's see. Shirionto, they're already going for another item here. Toxic is trying to push back a little bit. There's 4 stacks on his level 4. So it's closing in on the quest completion. But the fight is now over the healing beacon here. And we're actually looking at a single item on the side of the red team. They have 1 additional turret that they can rely upon. Immortal gets attacked, already going straight into the ult. Sundering comes out, does absolutely nothing. The Ring of Frost, by the way, is also a close second to that, but at least it traps, well, traps more or less Mal'Ganis, and he goes down. And they get the kill against Li Ming too. Shirionto survives once again. Farlander can't. Oh, the angle nearly good enough to get the kill. Not quite. 5 stacks for Thrall in the meantime. And now with 8 kills against 3, a 2-level advantage and half a level away from level 16. We're having Pog9 going for another item, going for another objective, and looking very, very powerful in this instant. Damage output with 22,000 goes to Junkrat. 24,000 for Hanzo, but they're diving in deep for additional kills, and Renella is a bit isolated and should fall here, especially if Shirionto gets a hold of him, but that's not the case. Fountain was still up, so Ana is able to escape. Level 16 talents aren't quite ready yet, but they will be any second for Pog9, and they are looking good with that. Also looking good is that Protector, just destroying the top lane, and there's the level 16 talents. With that we have the Endless Nades, the Rising Storm, Melting Touch, and the Jaina flank apparently. Sorry, the Junkrat flank that might be coming in here. Bottom of the map. Oh god, he's reset. How did he get reset? Did he actually accidentally drop a wolf at the bottom of the map? I didn't see him in the last fight. Might have missed it, but the quest is back to 0 for him now. So that's a bit unfortunate. 4 down at the top, 4 down at the bottom, and with the next objective spawning bot side, they're going to try and destroy the wall right here. They have another 27 seconds on the Protector. plenty of time to go through this one. Especially with Li Ming still sitting topside. But yeah, that wall is going to get wrecked, and anything else that they can do to keep and fountain is a bonus that will make it even easier for them to go through the bot lane if they can win the next objective here. So they put some pressure on it, they're able to drop it probably to 50% HP. Honestly, if Thrall stays mid lane, they might be able to get the whole thing here. I mean, they're trying as a sleeping dart, and they're just saying like, you know what, screw it, we're gonna take the entire thing. Yep, one more protector and it could be the end of it. So right now we have a 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series on the second map. We have 5 additional kills for them. 1.5 levels of an advantage, and they are just looking powerful with this. Red team needs to ticket back into this, and I honestly don't really know how they... I mean, we kind of know how. With a good ult from Ana onto Li Ming at the right moment, and Barnaby popping off a little bit, that would be what they need. But Barnaby is looking a little bit rusty today. I'm not quite sure if he's just having a bad day, if he didn't really play a lot recently, or if he just had way too many energy drinks and coffee, and is therefore a little bit too hyper at this point. But he's making aggressive plays that just don't quite pay off for him, and usually he's always been aggressive, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating necessarily for him totally sitting back here. He's been an aggressive player like all the time, but usually the aggression leads to kills, and those kills then bring fights and wins for them. And if he is able to get a few kills in here, the resets and the dominance value is obviously going to skyrocket and allow him to make a big play. But in this game, it hasn't worked out so far. Now, it's not over yet, but they need that comeback soon. And they're trying against Mopsio here. Mopsio is getting attacked as we speak. There's obviously still a mosh pit available, but Jaina is down. This time they go for it, and they get it. There's also still Li Ming, gets the nano boost, the second kill against Junkrat, as Li Ming is still trying to make plays against Monkey here, and Fury is also in trouble. Rhaegar is on the run, the Ancestral is not ready yet, and just another second, and it doesn't go through. He starts it, but it gets interrupted, and as they take Imperius down, those are 4 kills against 0, and this is exactly what I just talked about. The ticket back into the game. There we are. 18 versus 18, 8 kills against 7, and now we're talking. Now we're all of a sudden talking. And Mopsio, he is Hearthstone away. They know where he is. Ooh, Farlander was just a little bit too close in order to get this. This could have been a kill. This could have been a kill. If he waits half a second before he unleashes the first shot, they have a kill against Mopsio and a staggered death there. Oh, that's unfortunate for them. That's really unfortunate for them. That could have been it. That could have honestly been it right there. But now, it's time for the next objective. And it's gonna be an even talent fight. Even if level 20 drops into the hands of Pork 9, with a bit of patience, the clowns should be able to get their Storm talents too. And they still have a slight lead here. They're already on the position here. Renella is gonna try and take this. Junkrat is dealing with the top camp to ensure that they're not losing a fort here either. It's obviously about items now too. And they're sitting everywhere. Healing beacon in their hand. They got the additional turret, and they're starting to take the position here. Mopsio has taken a slight lead for the team, but they're actually much farther into level 20 than I thought they would be at this point. So now it's item time again, and we're having both of the teams make a play for the turret. Morganis needs to move in for this one too, but level 20 is an issue, a big one. Mopsio is trying to make the play. Storm talents are in, and here we go. Thrall with a Sundering, and they're trying to make the play for Jaina, and she's down, and so is Rhaegar. Now we're talking. These are the resets that Banana Beer needed, and they have another 4 kill. There's the Death Mosh, but guys, they are just absolutely destroying them right now. The clowns, they have been funning around a little bit in this game. They pulled a... Swamp Grotta nearly taken out by Barnaby as he goes for the repulsion. That was such a clutch escape. But yeah, the last 2 fights, both times a quad kill with 0 deaths on the side of the clowns. They are going absolutely ham on them right now. They have taken the lead in kills. It's 11 against 8. And yeah, this is the moment in time where they can maybe make a play. They should be able to get the bottom keep at this point. Talking keeps. Look at that. Swamp Grotta is moving topside and is saying, like, well, one of you guys has to come back and deal with me, because if you don't, I'm going to make sure you're going to take damage on keep number 2. The problem for them is that it really seems like the clowns are going to try and end the game here. Yeah, they are going to try and take that one down. Because there's the objective, with 2 heroes still dead, having the aggression coming through against the keep itself, and with only 40-50% HP left, that keep is gonna fall. And then all that you need is a little bit more damage there. We have, by the way, the I hate waiting on Junkrat, which is what allowed him to move towards the other side of the map this quickly. But he's getting pushed back here. Nano boost so far hasn't been used yet. Barnaby is still waiting for that. Okay, comes in with the Calamity, trying to get some additional damage in. Ancestral Healing is good enough. Mopsio slides in. Ring of Frost doesn't hit anything. Has no Cold Snap in this game. And Mopsio is low. Immortal wants to go for it. Chiriondo is low too. And Mopsio is dead. Mopsio is dead and Li Ming is dancing. Monkey comes in and tries to get the kill, but Barnabia gets away, and that's the kill against Imperius. Now the Protector is nearly down, but they are going to get the keep, and with 2 heroes eliminated on the blue team side, there is a chance that we're going to see a play for core, but it's going to be tough to make this happen. With Jaina and Junkrat still around, so both of the damage dealers are there, and it looks like we're going to see the Protector fall any second. They shouldn't be able to end this, or are they? I mean, Svamgrotta is pushing as much as he can from the back. They're trying to buy time for Imperius to come back, but Svamgrotta gets nearly wrecked by Hanzo. They make the play for the backline. The core is already at 94%, but there's the kill against Junkrat. Farlander jumps away and gets eliminated by the minions. Rhaegar is still trying to stay alive here. Jaina is also nearly dead. A kill against Jaina, and that should be the end of the game. The Clowns, it seems, are gonna make game number 3 a reality. They turn it around and they take their victory against Pork 9 after a disastrous early game. Nicely done by the Clowns as they force the tie in the series in the 3rd game. Welcome to game 3. I didn't think we would be here. Gotta admit it. Clowns looked like they wouldn't be able to turn it, but in the last game we actually had, I think it was 2 team fights where they absolutely destroyed with the help of resets on Li Ming, Pork 9's lineup, and that brought them back into the game. So, nicely done. Alterac Past is going to be the 3rd and final map between the 2 teams, and as you can tell, the ban patterns are pretty much exactly the same. You want to shut down Tracer against Barnabia, you want to get rid of that Chromie as well. We're having Monkey once more without Samuro on this bigger map, even that is obviously a big one. We try and shut that down as quickly as you can. And the only question is if they're going to ban Alarak again, or if instead they're going for a different ban right now. And it's Junkrat, with now 2 Junkrat plays being made by Svamgrotta and a lot of nuisances and annoyances through all of this. That's exactly what we're seeing right here. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna get. Are we gonna have again an early pick into Rhaegar, trying to go for the camps here? Is it instead gonna be a focus on globals? We could see an early ETC, for example, so that you can have him with stage dive on the side lane or even in the main tank position. Falstad might make a comeback here. But as it happens, Svamgrotta is starting to immediately get his Alarak in. Alarak, baby! Let's go! Okay, banned out twice. And now in game number 3, we're having the hero come through. Yeah, Johanna gets taken away by Immortal this time. No ETC, at least not yet. I would assume that we could get one from Pork 9 for exactly the reasons pointed out earlier. Globals on the map. Hanzo and Jojo on the other side. Now when it comes to globals, I mean, we have seen Illidan on this map by Mopsio teams. And still, Illidan can be kind of nice, but yeah, Mopsio actually going to Garrosh. We have Rhaegar together with it. Rhaegar this time not the first pick, instead Alarak, but Rhaegar is there. And the big question still is one of the players playing around the globe. Now there's the Haka obviously too, but the Haka has fallen a bit of grace considering how popular he was actually in the times of HTC. After HTC and changes to the game in general, he has fallen a lot. So, yeah. But it's ban time. And with the ban time, we have Li Ming banned out against Pork 9, actually. Which means that we're going to have Barnaby with something different. If Vala doesn't get banned now, he might go back to Vala. But then he has to cool it a little bit on the aggression that you showcased in game number 1, because it doesn't quite work out if you don't have a rewind button like on Tracer. as a ban against Jaina for the burst damage that they want to get rid of. And yeah, Vala is still open. And they could definitely take Vala if they want to. Again, if you want to go for a damage dealer, you could also go for Falstad and then have the global and the utility of a Mighty Gust that you are adding to that mix. Not quite sure how that would work out for Barnaby though, because again, he is a little bit aggressive right now with this playstyle, which usually is nice for him. There was Malfurion. That doesn't come as a shock. Rhaegar on the left side, Malfurion on the right. That's what it has been in most of these games, with the exception of the last one, because, duh, we've seen Malfurion actually banned. Toxic on Leo this time. Gonna make them suffer a little bit here, and also has the wave clear that he can rotate between the lanes. But, yeah. No globals. Not a single one. Not a lot of mobility yet. Could come in on the last picks now, though. And Shirionto on Monkey. Monkey in particular could maybe go for a bit of surprise. Alright, there's Gul'dan and Rexa. Rexa gets played as well. And with that, we're having Barnaby coming in as the last and final pick, as he has to decide what they want in terms of damage now. Especially with Gul'dan, I mean, he needs to be careful there for sure. If you have something that is a little bit or too much on the squishy side. I was already thinking maybe they're going even into Genji, but there's Kira, usually a Granite Gaming, Laubas fan club pick, but now we have Fallen on it. And Barnaby and Hanzo. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 3, Alterac Pass. Game number 3. Svampgrotta was denied his Junkrat this time, so we have him on Alarak on the 3rd map. Shirionto on Gul'dan, Monkey on Rexa, and Fury again on Rhaegar, with Mopsio this time relying on Garrosh. And on the right side of the map, Farlander with Kira. We have Toxic on Leoric, Barnaby on Hanzo, Immortal on Johanna, and Renella on Malfurion again. So, let's check it out. Level 1, the maximum effort. Pretty much the same build that Tai uses for Kira. Definitely the most successful Kira player right now. Also because he's pretty much the only Kira player right now. I mean, outside of Laubas fan club, there are very few teams that play Kira. Some dabbled a little bit when the hero came out and received the first patch with the nerfs. But ever since then, we haven't really seen a whole lot of her. So, we see a little bit more often lately, because Tai really likes to play the hero whenever they get a chance, but outside of that one particular team, she doesn't really make a big appearance. But it's starting to become a bit more popular, as I said. So, as we have the clowns clowning around a little bit at the mid and bot lane, we have at the top Leo riding his golden cock here to work, as he's gonna try and commute to clean house a little bit and take out the trash. At the bottom of the map, Farlander is just dashing away right here and trying... I actually like the mount combo here. Look at that. He has actually a little bit of synergy. I like that. That's pretty cool. I can respect that. I mean, normally I would really advocate for the money pick here, but in this particular case, I gotta say that looks pretty solid. So yeah, that's a 6.5 out of 10 from me for sure. Now, this is a bit of a bigger map, and normally when the first objective spawns, you see the team's not really going for it immediately. It's more a bit of a delay, so that the fight starts when we have like level 7 talents available. Sometimes it gets drawn out even further towards level 10. But right now that means that the focus is more so on the camps more so than anything else. And yeah, that leaves us with our little setup here in the bot lane between Farlander and Svampgrotta. Two of them have currently to check that out. Over here in the middle, there's already a little bit of play going on with both teams taking their camp. The defense is set up, but especially with Shirionto on Gul'dan, we are starting to see him get some stacks for his Echoed Corruption. And also they're starting to break through that wall pretty efficiently. Yeah, there's a bit of a throw against Leo. Don't think they can get the kill, but still has to move out. Standard again on level 4 with the upstage. Now, we're going to keep our eyes on Kira a little bit, but so far this is exactly the same build that we've seen from Tai multiple times now for the fan club. We have for Monkey Animal Husbandry again. So once more, for the second time that we are seeing Rexa in this game, we do not have them with Hunter-Gatherer for the extra armor after the Globe quest is completed, but instead the attempt to go for the extra hit point pool on both. So let's see if he can actually avoid dying in this game. Don't see that too much anymore. Alright, all the way up to the top. Monkey's already sitting tight. Toxic. I mean, again, it's a 1 versus 1 setup, but they shouldn't really get too much. For Leo, if anything, it's going to be nice to pad his stats a little bit because of the continuous drains against Misha. Leo 4,000 damage so far. 6,000 still on the side of Hanzo. And having our camps taken again. But this is exactly what I said. The objective is already there, and nobody gives a shit. That's pretty much what we're seeing right now. The objective is on the map. Nobody really cares about it. Teams are just like irking around a little bit. Mopsio is a bit far out here and actually blocks that for just a second. But as you can tell, both teams are absolutely fine delaying the first objective, waiting for level 7, maybe pushing this a little bit farther than that too. And we'll see. We have right now at the bottom, in the middle, another wall taken down. And I gotta say that Pork9, especially in the early game, just seems so much more coordinated than what the Clowns have shown in this series so far. It's really the late game, if anything, that's a little worrisome. Oh, Fury gets tossed over to get a kill against Barnaby. They're not quite able to make it happen though. But Barnaby is still incredibly low, and so is Renella. Both of them are taking a beating here. But it's without consequence yet, because no one can deliver the final blow. Yeah, but that obviously opens now the objective up a little bit, and that might be the lead. Kira now with the Healmonger on level 7. So absolute standard. Maximum effort on level 1, upstage, and later on Healmonger on level 4 and level 7 for her. We're seeing also the Echoed Corruption for Gul'dan. Animal Husbandry so far is still giving value, hasn't died yet. In fact, we haven't seen a single kill in this game yet. And the lead on the objective for Pork9, thanks to them nearly killing 2 heroes. Didn't take them down, but sent them back healing and grabbing mana, so that was already a bit of a win. Experience, though, it's level 8 versus level 8. And Mopsio is just running around on the money pick the entire time, just getting stacks for his level 1, trying to make the plays there. Be careful that he doesn't get locked down, but Renella is a bit too far away to drop anything. And in addition to that, we have Indomitable, obviously, on Mopsio's level 4, so he can easily move away if he gets caught by a root. Here comes the setup against Kira for just a moment. Svamgrotta, level 4, with a show of force into the applied force here. That's a bit of a slower game. I mean, honestly, at this point, you can tell that Pork9 is just realizing now, well, guys, we could lose this. We are playing better. We dominated the first game and we did well in game number 2, but we could lose this game. Rhaegar is down. Kira turns this around and gets the kill, and Mopsio is about to fall too. That quickly turned. I mean, Kira was heavily focused, and then she just went in and got the kill, but now they lose Hanzo, so it's at least a 2-for-1 trade. Makes it a little bit better for Pork9, but this is a map where the blue team has to realize that they could lose this. And I think this is slowly starting to dawn on them. After the the second game, they were sitting tight and saying like, that should have been a win. We kind of threw that away. And if that late game comes, then we could have a problem here. And think about that late game for just a second. With level 20 abilities, we're getting fun stuff like Buried Alive. And that's really something you don't want to go up against. So that's definitely one thing that has to be considered by Pork9. The Clowns, on the other hand, they want to have the last laugh. Who would have thought? Arrow is completely missing, as we're actually having Alarak making the play here with the telekinesis. Nicely done by him. Here comes also the ult from Renella. Horrify is being used as well, but they can't get the kill yet. Chirionto's a little bit low on Gul'dan and has to be careful here too. But they make the play for Malfurion, and he barely saves himself. The problem is that Gul'dan is still in trouble and barely walks out. Or does he? Because Farlander wants the kill, but he can't quite get it. Kira is on the prowl, but not able to deliver. Instead, we have Mopsio throwing Johanna into the fray and trying to get a kill there. But they won't be able to get that one either. The objective, on the other hand, has been caught. And that's the Raiders on the map now. So with this, they're actually starting to get the pressure on all of the lanes. So, job well done. 1 kill against 2, and with the wall already eliminated in the middle, there's obviously no doubt how this is going to end. That fort is a goner. The other one's not going to do anything for them. So what else are we going to see there? At the top lane, we're having in the meantime Monkey sitting tight. 640 hit points already thanks to the Animal Husbandry. At the bottom of the map, Farlander on Kira is pretty much done with this one. There's still a fight thanks to the Entomb that was just now forced, but Toxic is a bit low. The problem is so is Swampgrotta. One down, and Swampgrotta actually survives this. The problem is that Renella is locked down and eliminated. And with Johanna dying, that means a triple kill just achieved for Pork9. All of a sudden, they are starting to make the plays and have now the option to go for the top fort. With Banapir being low, the only thing they can rely upon is a bit of outside poke, and that's about it. But that should at least be the end of the fountain, if not of the fort itself. Kira is there, but they're still missing their healer. They're missing their main tank. There's little they can do unless they get a quick kill. And here comes the setup against Toxic again. And he activates the trade value on Leo. Playing a little bit of a Loki style at this point. There's another quick kill, and the top fort down. 2 forts eliminated, 5 kills against 2, level ahead, and as in the last 2 games, we have the early lead for Pork9. Can they win the game though? That's a different question, as was proven by the clowns on map number 2. So that's what they're currently gonna try and check out here. With that said, we have Leo towards the top side, getting experience. 13 is the next milestone for both teams. Much, much closer, of course, for the blue team. No plays, by the way, for the bosses yet, so we haven't seen a play for either, but we've seen Leo sniffing just around the edges to see if maybe someone is making a play there. That's not the case. So at this point, we are having still the next objective coming up. Next objective about to come up in the game. And that means we have another opportunity to maybe get a lead for Pork9, thanks to the talent advantage that they're running. The gap is closed quickly, or is closing quickly. Up to the top. Swampgrotta moving in. It's like, ooh, a ghost. Swampgrotta is turning slowly but steadily into a Ghostbuster here. He's starting to lock him down, but as expected, the early lead, thanks to the talent advantage. Now, they won't be able to hold that one for long. I don't think they can win the entire thing here. But as long as they take the lead and get a bit of a head start, that's enough. Chainsaw. And outside of that, traditional build for Leo. Talking Leo. He's already taking a little bit of a beating here. Arrow against the backline, but no follow-up. Had to retreat. Yeah. Not quite on the same page here for the red team. Half the team thinks they're going to engage, the other ones are like, just like chill for just a moment. And time is now working a little bit in favor of Pork9, since 16 would be the next talent. Farlander is able to move out at the bottom of the map, as he has to be cautious with this. 30,000 damage for now from Hanzo, and we're having 31 from Gul'dan. 23,000 from Alarak. I mean, again, there is a reason why Alarak was actually banned in game number 1 and game number 2. But with Junkrat just making one play after another and just being a massive pain in the ass in both games, the clowns decided that it's worth it to just simply ban Junkrat instead. Rexa by now has been alive for quite some time after he picked his level 4 talent, Animal Husbandry, so he's now sitting at 1,000 additional hit points for himself and for Misha. Not bad. Definitely gives him a nice hit point boost that he has with that. He's also needed in the fight right now, though. Yep, there we have it. Against at the front, trying to make the play there. Misha with 4,003 hit points. Oh, the horrified Jojo! But Gul'dan! Yeah, Johanna goes down, but so does Gul'dan. The two of them are getting eliminated, and the fight is going to deliver a few more victims. Especially with Mopsio getting wrecked. Banapir once more. He wants the little doggy. And that Malfurion dies. All of a sudden, a 2-for-3 trade. Level 16 talents are there. Farlander on Kira gets wrecked too. And with that, only Hanzo is still surviving. They're making the play again for the objective. And it seems like Pork9 is going to get another cavalry. 150 sadism by now for Swampgrotta, as he is crushing it on Alarak here. The quest isn't quite completed for Gul'dan yet, so even though he has the Ruinous Affliction, the Echoed Corruption isn't yet done. But with 9 kills against 4, they are looking strong. And the mid lane has also been relieved of the entire wall, so the keep is open. It's party time over there. Now we have the Mocking Strikes after we've seen the right of Shakir taken on level 13. 16 talent with the Mocking Strikes right away. And in this case, there's a lot of stuns and slows and everything around, so Swampgrotta should be able to get a lot of value out of this one. They're also far ahead now. I mean, experience, first of all. The fort is down, and they're starting to make the play into the middle of the map, and you can't really blame them. Obviously, they want the fort here. Okay. There's already a bit of a setup. A little bit surprised. Ooh.
Blessed Shield even coming out, and that's the end. That should be the end of Johanna. Jojo down, the arrow connects, but as long as Fury doesn't die here, they should be fine. Ult from Kira nearly drops him, but Fury survives, and now we have Malfurion also dead, and Kira gets eliminated too. Yeah, that's not a Wakanda moment here. I can tell you that much, and that means that we're gonna have the first keep in the game eliminate. Oh my god, they could even go for boss. Oh, with that kill against Hanzo, that is pretty much lights out. I mean, currently Alarak is sitting at 161 sadism, 41,000 damage for him, and they're making the play. They want to end it right here with them eliminating 4 heroes and only Leo surviving. Scratch that, he's dead too. 5-man wipe against the Clowns, and that is going to be game. Pork9 with a bit of a hiccup in game number 2, but they deliver on Alterac Pass. They take their opponents down with a 2-1 victory to move on to the next round of the tournament to face Laubers Fan Club. GG and well played.